happy to be starting the 2021 season at the Sebring Speed Tour with International GT, and I have the president of International GT. Ken, give us a quick description of this fantastic race group.
Well, International GT is made up of three groups, which is the Mission Foods GT3 Cup Trophy, the Maranello Cup for the Ferraris, and the Stuttgart Cup, which incorporates the Porsche Cayman cars. We're so excited to be here as part of this first race of 2021 in the Speed Tour event.
Nice. We've got 1 minute on the grid. We're going to walk through. Come up here with us, Ken. Ken's going to join us in the announcer's booth for this group because he knows everybody. We've got Andy Pilgrim, Tom Prank, Benoit Bergeron, Juan Gonzalez of Mission Foods right there giving us the thumbs up. Unbelievable race car driver Juan Gonzalez with Mission Foods. We're so happy to have him as a marketing partner. I got to get us out of the way because we just got 1 minute on the grid, and these Porsches, these Ferraris are firing up. I think we even might have an Audi out there. We're going to have a great time. 31 cars starting. Mark Sandrich in this beautiful Brumos. Here they come, Tony. Get a shot of this right here. Joe Vardy, legend right here. Joe Party Vardy is with Mark Sandrich with the nice Brumos Porsche. I love being down here on the grid, getting some great shots with my buddy Tony, the camera guy. So excited to be starting the 2021 season with the Sebring Speed Tour. Some fantastic cars here. Now remember, this is for the SVRA and Trans Am apps. So Johnny, tell them all about how they can get that app. Right now, I'm sending it to you, Jonathan. Happy birthday, Jonathan.
Well, I'm as old as the series. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, so he's as old as the Trans Am series that started here at Sebring International Raceway. So let's ask you, how old is Jonathan, or what year was he born?
Well, the series started right here on March 25th, sometime in the 60s. in the raging 60s. Now, as they come down the Allman Straight, 1966 to be exact, but as they come down the Allman Straight and into Sunset Bend, we're starting to rev up those engines of Ferraris and Porsches. What a glorious sight, what a glorious field. And we're expecting a 30-minute sprint race. Now, while these guys are on our SVRA calendar, these guys go hell-bent for leather, don't they? Oh, what a sound! Away they go then! Heading down towards the first corner here, slight breeze. This is the International GT Series Feature Race 2.
Tom Pank looked on the inside there of Andy Pilgrim, so I think it's going to be Juan Lopez Santini in first, Tom Pank in second, going into turn 3, as that's Tom Pank's son there in that Base Saver car. And Rob Blake had to start at the back, and he's already picked up about 9 positions. Great stuff. And like I said, we're starting this weekend, Jonathan, with what might be the best racing of the weekend on our live stream. They already had Feature Race 1, and now this is Feature Race 2 as we look at Juan Lopez Santini, followed by Tom Pank, but Andy Pilgrim ducks to the inside. Let's see who takes it, Jonathan.
Yeah, Andy Pilgrim, Lopez Santini, into the hairpin they come. And a really good, clean start, really impressive actually. No problems for anybody so far, at least I haven't seen all the field go through, but I didn't see anybody spin around so far. So here we go. Starting to spread out now as we head down for the first time to open it up again at 13, the Bishop Corner, and then they'll head down by the airport here. Of course, this was a former World War II Air Force base here in the United States. And then...
That's a great shot right there,
Isn't
Jonathan.
it?
Right in front of the famous Sebring Tower. We have a scissor lift out there. Green light is picking up some great images. And look at this wonderful field. Porsche versus Ferrari. You don't get a more class of race cars right there. Ken Fengler's done a great job developing this group of racers. They have probably more fun than any other race group I've ever seen, with some of the stiffest competition. And Ken Fengler, the owner of the series, is going to join us as Juan Gonzalez passes Ben Bergeron around the outside.
Yeah, that was a nice
turn
move.
17. Bergeron's going to try to get him back on this front straight. Juan Gonzalez, like I said, the owner of Mission Foods. I love Mexican food, and I think about Juan Gonzalez every Tuesday and Saturday as I'm eating my Mission Food chips and tacos. Ken, how great is this racing with International GT at Sebring?
went off on a safe start, and look forward, as I said to them at the first race, this is the perfect day, the perfect place for racing. Don't screw it up. And I said, if there's no pressure on this second race, I said, but not only would you screw up in front of yourself, maybe a couple of crew people and God, but if you do it now, you're on live stream and the whole world can see. So as I said, it looks like they're in for some good racing and some real fun, and that's what it's all about.
Now, one of your fastest drivers, Rob Blake, had to start in the back. I see that he's worked his way up, but what was his reasoning for starting in the back of the field?
There were three things that were cold this morning. There were cold tires, cold racetrack, and Rob had a cold brain, okay? And, it happens. Rob hasn't been raced for over a year and a half, and he obviously qualified on the pole, so he had his head down, was ready to do that job, but when it got to the racing thing and butterflies, he said to me, Andy Pilgrim just came up to me and talked to me, and I'm starting next to him. He said, I'm feeling the pressure.
Well, there you go.
Now, this is multi-class racing, so now we're seeing Rob Blake come up to Mark Sandridge in that beautiful Brumos Porsche. With that's actually a tribute to his running mate Joe Vardy with Brumos back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. And that car has all sorts of history, and I'm not sure the whole story, but the car was used actually in the movie of shooting Art of Racing in the Rain, my favorite book of all time.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Which is, so it has, like the drivers and the cars have history also.
Yeah.
Somebody just went wide slightly there on the entry into the Ullman Straight as we see that Brumos car coming down. But at the moment, as they cross the line again, it's Juan Lopez Santini from Andy Pilgrim, Tom Pank in third place, Juan Gonzalez in fourth, Benoit Bergeron in fifth place, Andor Kovacs in sixth place, then Mark Sandridge. And as they cross the line, a few changes. Dave Tuati is in ninth position. Kovacs goes down to 10.
Look at that Dave Tuati car right there. We're focused in on that right there. That thing, just day glow orange with all kinds of different colors.
Dave's certainly a seasoned driver. As I said to him, congratulations to him, because he's not only a driver and a very competent and accomplished driver, but he runs the team, and he's got 5 cars here. Last night at 8 o'clock, they were loading up a car and bringing it to West Palm so they could get the customer up and running, and here he is out on track and won the class in this morning's first race.
So what's the over-under on Rob Blake taking first place? He's moved up the field, now he's in fourth. He's trying to catch him, isn't he?
He is, but it's going to take a Herculean effort. Certainly the back part of the field was, with the smaller displacement cars, was a little bit easier. Once he gets up to those top 5, as in a lot of racing, he's going to have his work cut out for him. With Tom Pank, Mark Sandridge, Juan Gonzalez, and Andy Pilgrim, it's going to take some work. It won't be given to him.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you think that Juan Lopez Santini is in the best seat in the house, I think he'd argue with that, seeing Andy Pilgrim in his mirror. Andy Pilgrim is a world-famous driver, but very calculating, and he's probably just biding his time back there.
Well, he did that this morning. I watched him, and he was up on the front of the grid, but he just sat back and waited. And as he does, he's the ultimate chess player in racing. He's not playing checkers out there, but he's calculating his moves way ahead of time, and that's what's made him such a successful road racer.
Well, it's exactly as the script wanted to be. Lopez Santini in the Porsche ahead of the Ferrari 458 GT of Andy Pilgrim as they come into Sunset Bend and start to cross the line again. We'll take a look at the gap now between the pair of them. It really isn't. It's half a second. Pilgrim has taken a tenth of a second in that last lap. Elliott Skier is now up to third place over Tom Pank, who's dropped to fourth. Gonzalez still fifth. Sandridge sixth with Joe Vardy and Benoit Bergeron in seventh at the moment.
Yeah, and let me explain this to you, and Ken, you can do it better. Everybody wants to win overall, and you're racing with who's ever next to you. But there's the Maranello Cup, which are the Ferraris. Then there's the Porsche Cup, and there's even some different classes in that, and the Stuttgart. Can you explain that to us? And if you're watching this live, please tell us where you're watching from and who you're rooting for.
Well, pretty simply, as you said, the Maranello Cup is Italian-based cars. We've had Lamborghini, we have just Ferrari, both in the GT3 configuration and the Ferrari Challenge. We have 2 Ferrari Challenge cars out there in the 458s, okay, so 2 different classes there. Stuttgart Cup, 2 different classes, but Cayman-based, Porsche Cayman-based cars, the older 3.4 liter cars and the 3.8. We have both both cars out there. The funny thing about it is the 3.4 cars are well developed and give the drivers money. We saw that as Will Watts, our defending champion, led for a number of laps over the 3.8. And then finally, the Mission Foods GT3 Cup Trophy, a 911 based series. 911 obviously has been, since its inception, has been a race car in 1965, basically. So we've got 3.6, 3.8, 4-liter, 4R cars.
Can we talk about the cars? What about the drivers? Where do you get your pool of drivers? It's a massive field. So it's a combination of both professionals, instructors, and what I would call gentlemen drivers, but that's almost rude because these guys go and help out the level.
Yeah, but I will say we are that gentleman driver type of thing, and we're that middle ground. As I say, we see them on the way up, aspiring to go to real professional racing, and they go there and they do their thing. And at some point they say, well, I'd like to continue, but maybe not at this level of competition. And we see them on the way back down. I just say, as far as club racing, I just say we're a sportsman type of racing on a professional platform.
Benoit Bergeron spins
no!
at 17. He hits the bumps right beside. I don't think there was contact, but that's our Maranello Cup champion the last 2 years, now about to be passed by some Ferraris as he tries to get waved around. I think he hit the bumps there, Ken. What do you think?
Yeah, you just saw the back end of that Ferrari step out, and it just came around. He just couldn't hold it. And, of course, he was trying to make that inside pass, so he wasn't able to release the steering wheel and wind out a little bit because he had a car right on his left. So, a bit of divine intervention and luck, and, he cleaned the seat out, right, because he found out adrenaline is really brown there. And away he goes.
We got a car off there at turn 16, it looks like.
Yeah, parked up. I think it's out of harm's way.
Yeah.
It's at the start of the Ullman Straight, but it looks as though it's parked up out of harm's way, as we also see the old Learjet in the background doing its business on the airfield, which still continues today. But we're on the old airfield, the Air Force Base, if you will, from World War II. U.S. Air Force Base. That's how it all started here at Sebring.
Now, Jonathan, I got to brag on my friend Ken here. We've worked together for about 6 years, and I've seen him grow this series. And this is going to sound counterintuitive because you see how hard, like right here, Mark Sandrich and Juan Gonzalez are racing, how hard they're all racing. But somehow they come together. They had a party last night, and they have the most fun in the paddock. It's like a group of best friends out there racing each other. How did you do that?
Well, again, I think it's kind of it is a group of friends, and I call it kind of the private club, and I said it's not for everyone. And the wonderful thing in sports car racing, there are lots of places you can race, and I'm not saying we're the end-all for everybody, but if you enjoy some good, clean racing that you don't want to bang up the car, because we certainly try and focus it that way, but yet have some fun, not only on the racetrack, but in the paddock. As I say, we want sportsman type of racers out on the track, and we want good guys in the paddock, and that's what we're
I would consider these two battling for first teammates and really close friends, and they hate to lose to each other, don't they?
Well, there you see Rob Blake, car owner of both cars, who loans his car to Juan.
There's our replay of Benoit Bergeron. I don't think there was contact.
Nope.
Mark Greenberg gave him space, and he just ran out.
And by the way, I can give you an update. Bergeron did come into the pits, just saw him head out, so he's back out on track, but obviously he's lost pretty much a lap.
His team won't be happy, and his wife, I'm sure, is glad to see he's okay.
Yeah, it was. It's just a racing thing. They were going hard, and contact with Mark Greenberg, who's running very, very well this weekend, or anything harder than the car that's out there.
Yeah. Got to be impressed with Elliott Skier at the moment. He's up to second place. He's got ahead of Andy Pilgrim. It's Juan Lopez Santini. But look at this battle here. All going off. But a really good run so far by Skier in second. Plenty of traffic out there. There's the number 4 coming through of Andy Pilgrim. And he's in some traffic now as some slower cars now trying to get out of the way. But at the moment, it's Lopez Santini, Skier, Pilgrim, Pank, Gonzalez.
I think that's Rob Blake.
Is it Skier? I mean, it might have been.
Oh, is it him in the car?
It might be Skier in
it
the
might
car.
be Skier in the car, Ken's saying.
He's going very, very well.
Yeah.
Not that Rob's a slouch, but Elliott certainly is that one notch up.
So what is Andy Pilgrim right there in that red Ferrari in this long straight thinking? Is he going to let these guys battle it out and try to take it over?
He's just biding his time. It's enjoying the view, so to speak. and saying, wow, look at those Porsche guys. I'll just sit here. Thank you.
And that was Nicholas Pank there in the number 41. Thomas Pank's son. His other son, Lucas, races with us quite a bit. We never know which son's going to come, but they're both really fast and great drivers.
Yeah, Nicky is new to the sport, so to speak, and so the younger of the two brothers, and bringing him on, and so he's getting his opportunity. I think he tied up his brother in the closet, so he got to use the car this weekend. He's launched back at college, so he doesn't. But he's here enjoying his first race with International GT.
Nice. And Jonathan, you're right. That is Elliot Skier taking first place.
Yeah, he just did a brilliant lap, a 2:01.658 on his third lap. That was pretty impressive, and that's why he's moving so fast at the moment. He is hooning around there at the moment as this field is now starting to spread out dramatically in this 30-minute race, just 6 minutes to go. And we're listening to Ken Fengler, who organizes these guys. How do you get such a huge field? Or, as Ben was saying, is it just
the best racing?
Well,
it's everything that he's built.
I'd say, we're going in year 8, and we were an overnight success. The problem was it wasn't last night. All right, the first 3 to 4 years, it was tough. It was people wait and see. Are you going to be around? What are you really trying to do? And our founder, myself, Bill Riddell and myself just had this vision that we felt it really should work. And here we are with 30-plus cars on the grid after years of having 7 cars and 8 cars. We just stuck with it. I said to Juan Gonzalez, our longtime sponsor and marketing partner for Mission Foods, I said, Juan, the good old days weren't the good old days. It's the new good days. That's what we got going.
That's true, and I got to give a big thanks to Bill Riddell, Mark Sandridge, Colin Cohen, the guys that have been there with you since the beginning and are still there, trudging along. Bill Riddell had an unfortunate incident today and can't be in this race, but we've got some great guys. Ted Giovannis was here, and then you know who I've been impressed with that I hope races with you more is that David Tuati. He had a great showing at Daytona with his group, so did Greenberg. Are you hearing that they're going to do the season more with you?
Yeah, the Speedport group out of Connecticut has a number of cars. They brought a few here last year, and we saw them a few races, and David's one of those guys, and he very quietly has done a good job. A number of their drivers are very, very, very well-prepared cars, very well-trained drivers, and those are the kind of guys we'd love to see and could run for a championship. You never know where the chips will fall at the end of a season. As I say, some consistency, some participation, some decent driving, and some good luck, and you never know.
Mark Sandridge looking on the inside right there of Mark Greenberg, right behind Juan Gonzalez in that Mission Foods car that's new to him. He raced that in 2020, but this is the Mission Foods livery of 2021, that beautiful red with the checkers. We're used to seeing them in blue and white checkers.
So Skier extending that lead at the moment. He's taken it to 2.7 seconds now with just under 4 minutes to go. Lopez Santini holding on to second place. Andy Pilgrim still third. Tom Pack, Gonzalez, Greenberg still involved in that battle. The Brumos car doing a really good job with Mark Sandridge, who you just mentioned there, in 7th at the moment as they go through Sunset Bend again. The most, it's a fabled corner here at Sebring, and we've already seen it come to naught with one driver spinning around but no contact, thankfully.
Yeah, as you mentioned, our founder, Bill Riddell, my partner, had a mechanical. Unfortunately, in that first race, things just went wrong. He was putting it on the trailer, a bit disappointed. Let me tell you what goes on in the paddock. One of his fellow drivers and participants had a spare car and says, Bill, do you want to drive one of my car here? You don't need to go home. Offered him his car to drive the rest of the weekend, and Bill said, thank you very much. But that's the spirit of camaraderie that's in this paddock. As we see, Juan Lopez Santini wouldn't have came in second place in the championship if Rob Blake didn't give him his car to drive.
Yeah, we just saw that turtle, the Gator car, but it looks like a turtle shell to me. William Watts was our Stuttgart champion the last 2 years. And then there he is, Andy Pilgrim right there in the number 4 red Ferrari. Beautiful car. And how in the world did you get like 2 of the most iconic classes to race against each other on the track together?
It happened very organically, but I couldn't have planned it. I like to say I planned it that way. But we started with the Porsche deal, and I've done work with Ferrari, over the years. The only 2 manufacturers I've really worked with in racing is both Porsche and Ferrari. And So I was running a Ferrari group for about 5 years, and I left them, and those customers from there liked what we were doing with the Porsche group. And they came to me and said, Ken, we'd like you to, is it possible that we could have a Ferrari group with the Porsches? And within 6 months it came together. We came up with the Maranello Cup. I ran it by Bill. He says, it sounds like a good deal to me. And that's why, also I mentioned our brand ambassador, Derek Bell, the perfect marriage and match. A guy who was Formula One factory driver in 1968 and later really became of his big fame with Porsche in the factory. So our brand ambassadors, all Porsche and Ferrari factory driver.
Love it. And ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're seeing on our social media, you need to download the Trans Am or the SVRA app to continue this. We're going to give you the end of this race, and then we're going to go to about halfway through, and then we're going to switch over. So you need to go to the wherever you get your apps, the Google Play or the Apple Store, to download the SVRA or the Trans Am app. We're going to be racing all day tomorrow, all day today. And Jonathan, I'm going to give it over to you. We got a minute and a half left of this race, and it's really heating up.
It's heating up nicely as Skier continues to lead. He's now taken a massive lead. And Juan Lopez Santini, I don't think is going to react, as he's now, though, getting into traffic. 24, here he is.
Last to first. Unbelievable.
Yeah, last to first, unbelievable. He has done a brilliant job and didn't expect that to happen at all. But, that just shows you the skill as we look high and above the famous Sebring circuit. And as we go back in history, because we are going back to our roots this week, just remember the first man to win here was Jochen Rindt, of all people, the man that went on to Formula One. And I think he would be enjoying a race like this.
Yeah, I got to say, Rob Blake, if you're watching this, I'm going to need that in-car video for our International GT social media channels, because that's going to be really fun to watch.
Coming down then, closing stages, and the gap 7.1 seconds now to Juan Lopez Santini. Pilgrim in third. Tom Pank, we've got to park up. That's the 77 of Mark Mattis and Aaron Quine, but he's got it going again. And luckily it's just a spin around. No major incidents. We had that one spin at Sunset and now another one here. We had a car parked up, but really no big problems.
No, for the last 6 years that I've been working with Ken, I've been nothing but impressed with the driver's skills and how Ken sometimes can lay down the law with these drivers, but it's really good racing. They have so much fun. If you're interested at all in this kind of modern GT racing, definitely give International GT at internationalgt.net a look. Ken, closing thoughts.
Nope, just thankful that everybody was safe. It was a good race. Thanks for letting International GT and inviting them to be part of this Speed Tour event. What can be better, with Trans Am, SVRA, the car show just packed here, with all those cars on track and spectacular racing here. So we're just very glad to be here. We've got another race tomorrow.
Wait, here it comes to the
one
checker.
more corner to go. Here they come out of the last corner, and here comes your leader with the lights flashing, and it is Elliott Skier who takes the win. And that was superb stuff. Lopez Santini is some way back. He hasn't crossed the line just yet. And Andy Pilgrim, there he is, crosses the line now, as does Lopez Santini. Tom Pank will take fourth place, Mark Greenberg fifth, Juan Gonzalez in sixth place, Mark Sandridge seventh, Jason McCarthy eighth, Geronimo Guzman in ninth place, David Tuati in 10th position. But a great run by Elliott Skier. And I don't know, Ken, it's a surprise to me. Is it a surprise to you?
Well, no doubt. I honestly felt so bad. I don't like to see the pole-sitting car sitting at the back of the grid. Our rules are this, but I'll sometimes say, look, but, these slower cars in the field and so forth, not fair for those guys to have to drive the first 3 laps in their mirrors. They're trying to move forward, and I almost went up and say, do I need to spot you on the grid here? And thank goodness I didn't follow through with that. I mean, because look what it did. It created the story of the race.
Looks like Greenberg took it from oh, that's not Greenberg. Okay, so it's Juan Gonzalez and then Sandridge coming in right now. Ken, so much fun to watch this racing. Thank you so much for being a part of Speed Tour. Tickets are still available if you're in Central Florida or if you're out there in 2 feet of snow somewhere else in America. Come on down. We have 480 cars in our car show. That's a record car show. record ticket sales, another great race, your second race of the weekend with International GT, and it just, we have a spin on the outlap.
Look at that. The drone was on it.
Good stuff. Good catch
just
right there.
before the bridge.
Good job, Mark Sandrich, for avoiding that. And just great racing with International GT. I've been so impressed. Ken, you guys have so much fun. It's been awesome. And I've learned so much from you. Thank you. Jonathan, I started. Oh, no.
That's Mark Greenberg's car.
Yeah, that sure is. But I learned everything from Ken from the podium. The first time I did the podium for Trans Am, I said I'm just going to have to do a Ken Fangler impersonation.
Well, now you've surpassed me. Now you're on your own, Ben. You got to make up the stuff yourself now.
No fighting, boys.
No, I love watching it. Ken, nice job. This is a great series. So how can people get involved with you?
Well, no doubt these guys have experience in that, but certainly guys who get involved in motorsports from, doing driving days, really that's the best thing is, you come up through driving days and lapping days and club racing. And certainly every manufacturer has a program now. They all do in sports car racing. So,
well, my thanks to both Ben Sissel and to Ken Fangler. A fantastic race 2 for International GT, and it doesn't get any better than that. A brilliant win from the back from the pole man, Elliott Skier, who came through to win by over 8 seconds. Plenty of drama, and we've got more coming your way. Stay with us on our live stream here from Sebring, the home of SVRA and of Trans Am. We'll be back.